So students, we come to the next chapter, Language of Chemistry. In this language of chemistry, we are going to learn about how to represent elements with their symbols, and we will come to know the valency of the elements and how to write the formula of the element and the compound. Now, what is a symbol? A symbol is a shorthand notation, or we say an abbreviation of the element. We cannot write the name of the element for a chemical reaction every time. We have to represent it with a smaller notation, and that is what we call the symbol. Now, the symbol, whatever we are using today, has been used by the Berzelius, who is actually credited for these symbols. So, before Berzelius, there were other ways of representing symbols, like, for example, some kind of pictures like a circle or a triangle. But nowadays, we represent from the name of the element. We use the first letter of the name of the element to represent the symbol, like hydrogen is represented by capital H, carbon with capital C, oxygen capital O, sulfur capital S, nitrogen capital N, and phosphorus with capital P. So all of them has been used. That is the first letter of the name of the element. But there are so many elements and only 26 letters of the English alphabet. So what are we to do if another element starts with the same letter? Like, for example, here helium also starts with the letter H, just like hydrogen. So what we use a second letter from its name, that is He, where the second letter is a small letter. Similarly, calcium, it starts with the letter C, just like carbon. But here we use a second letter, that is C small a. Chlorine with C small cl, chromium Cr. Likewise, silicon, which also starts with the same letter as sulfur, we use Si to represent silicon. Neon, whose starting letter is same as that of nitrogen, we use Ne to represent neon. And nickel, we use Ni. Now there is a third way of representing the symbols of the elements. Now potassium, its symbol is K, which has no resemblance with its English name of the element. So this K has come from its Latin name Kalium. Likewise, sodium, its symbol is Na. It has come from its name Natrium. So gold, its symbol is Au, which comes from aurum. Copper, its symbol is Cu, which comes from cuprum. Tin, with symbol Sn, comes from stannum. Iron, Fe, with symbol comes from ferrum. And silver, Ag, the symbol comes from argentum. So this way the symbols of the elements are represented. Now coming to significance of symbol. So what are the things we come to know from a symbol? A symbol stands for the name of the element. It stands for one atom of the element and the mass of the element in gram atomic mass. So let us take an example for oxygen, O. So this O stands for the element oxygen. It also stands for one atom of oxygen, and this O also represents that the mass of oxygen in gram atomic mass is 16 grams. In the same way, if I take Na, which stands for the element sodium, and one atom of sodium whose mass is equal to 23 grams, which is the mass expressed in gram atomic mass. Now, students, what is valency? Now, you have studied before that valency can be defined as the combining capacity of an element. The other way of defining valency, it is the number of electrons lost, gained or shared during a chemical reaction. Now, why do elements have to lose, gain or share electrons? The motive of doing it in order to attain a stable electronic configuration or to have the outermost shell complete, which we call octet. We had seen in the atomic structure that the outermost shell, the electrons that are present there, those are called the valence electrons. So those electrons only take part in the chemical reaction. So in order to attain an octet, they can either lose electron or gain electron or share electron. So that is called valency. Now, metals. We had seen in atomic structure that metals in their outermost shell, they have 1, 2 or 3 valence electrons which they can lose. So the number of electrons lost by a metal can be 1 or 2 or 3. If they lose 1 electron, its valency is 1. If they lose 2, its valency is 2. If it is 3, then it is losing 3, then the valency is 3. In the same way, non-metals can gain 3 electrons, maximum of 3 electrons. So, we will take some examples to see how metals have valency by losing electrons and non-metals, what is their valency by gaining electrons. Now let us see how metals and non-metals, how do we get their valency. Now I told you metals lose electrons. Now here we see sodium, whose electronic configuration is 281. To attain an octet, it will lose 1 electron, and after it loses 1 electron, it becomes Na+. So it has attained an octet and it has lost 1 electron, so its valency is 1. Magnesium, it loses 2 electrons. After losing 2 electrons, it gets a charge of +2, and here also it attains an octet. Aluminium, it loses 3 electrons. So here, after losing 3 electrons, it attains a charge of 3+, and here also it attains an octet. So metals can lose 1 or 2 or 3 electrons to form cations, and the number of electrons lost is equal to its valency. In the same way, fluorine, that is the non-metals we are talking of, they gain electrons. And how many electrons it can gain? It can gain 1 or 2 or 3 electrons. So non-metals gain electrons to form anions, and the number of electrons gained is equal to its valency. So let us have a look. Fluorine, its electronic configuration is 2,7. So it needs 1 electron more to attain an octet. So it gains 1 electron and its charge becomes F-, and its electronic configuration becomes 2,8. So it attains an octet, it has gained 1 electron, so its valency is 1. Same way, oxygen, it had 6 valence electrons. To make it 8, it gains 2 electrons. So its charge becomes O2-, and it also attains an octet. So it gains 2 electrons, so its valency is 2. Nitrogen, it has 5 valence electrons. So it has to take 3 more electrons. So it gains 3 electrons more, and attains a charge of 3 minus, and it also attains a stable electronic configuration of 2,8. So thus we see that non-metals, they gain electrons, and the number of electrons gained is equal to its valency. There is a set of non-metals like carbon. Now we have a special mention for carbon, since we said that the valency is equal to the number of electrons lost, gained or shared. Now element like carbon, whose electronic configuration is 2,4. So such elements, it can neither lose electron or gain electron. So it will attain an octet by sharing 4 electrons. So this is how its valency becomes 4. So carbon will share 4 electrons, and that is how the valency of carbon is equal to 4. Carbon is equal to 4. So students, we have categorized the elements with valency 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let us have a look at the elements with valency 1. Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So these elements have valency 1. Now with valency 2 comes beryllium, magnesium, calcium, oxygen, sulfur. Element with valency 3 is boron, aluminium, nitrogen, phosphorus. And element with valency 4 is carbon and silicon. Now students, apart from the valency that I just told you, some elements have more than one valency. So those elements are said to have variable valency. Like I just told you, phosphorus has valency 3. Other than that, it also has valency 5. Sulfur, the valency 2 that you had just now seen, other than that, it also has valency 4 and 6. Copper, it has valency 1 and 2. Iron, 2 and 3. Lead, 2 and 4. Nitrogen, its main valency is 3, but it can also exhibit other valencies of 1, 2, 4 and 5. Now, finally, we have to end with this class by saying that inert gases have valency 0 because it is already having a stable electronic configuration. Its outermost shell is filled. So it is already stable, so it will neither lose nor gain or share electrons. So from the next class we'll start to see how to write the molecular formula of elements and compounds.